He drew out a dagger at an astonishing speed, and then inserted it precisely into his shoe. Right after that, he swiftly pulled out 2 more daggers and with all his might, plunged them forcefully into the soft rock salt. The man scrambled upwards frantically, using both hands and feet, desperately trying to escape this hell-like situation. However, misfortunes never come singly. When he had laboriously climbed up 2.5 meters, the fragile dagger finally couldn't bear the pressure and snapped with a sharp crack. The man instantly lost his support and plummeted downwards. Fortunately, the parachute got caught on a branch above, but before he could even heave a sigh of relief, the withered branch couldn't hold the weight either, and started to break slowly. The man quickly spun around, twisted the parachute cords together, promptly took out a dagger, and frantically cut at the cords. Finally, at the very moment when the branch was about to break, the cords were successfully cut, and the man managed to dodge the danger just a split second before the branch fell. At this moment, his left foot was standing alone on the bare rock salt, and his hands were struggling to support his body against the cliff wall. Just when he was almost in despair, the man suddenly saw a goat licking the rock salt above his head, and this scene seemed to give him a glimmer of hope. Without hesitation, the man immediately imitated the goat's actions, firmly pressing his hands against the cliff wall. Below was a bottomless abyss, a terrifying sight that made his hair stand on end, and his whole body tremble uncontrollably. One false step would surely lead to his death, but he had no way back. He could only grit his teeth, imitate the goat's movements, and carefully inch his way upwards on the cliff wall, using both hands and feet. After a long and arduous climb, he finally reached a protruding cliff ledge. However, before he could catch his breath, the rock beneath his feet suddenly collapsed without warning, sending gravel flying in all directions as it fell. In this life or death moment, the man hastily climbed upwards. Seizing the right moment, he stepped on the goat and jumped upwards, his hands gripping the edge of the cliff above with all his might. By this time, the man was completely exhausted, and found it extremely difficult to climb up no matter how hard he tried. Suddenly, a goat appeared like a ghost above, staring at him menacingly. The goat sniffed and, realizing he wasn't one of its kind, unhesitatingly pushed the man down. Fortunately, the man still had one hand firmly grasping the cliff edge. He struggled desperately, and continued to climb upwards tenaciously, but the goat wouldn't let up and charged at him again. The man grabbed the goat's horns tightly. The goat, sensing an unprecedented threat, backed away in panic. In this tug of war, the man's body was finally pulled up onto the cliff top. He collapsed on the ground like a heap of mud, gasping for breath. The man slowly raised his hand and gently stroked the goat that had just saved his life, his eyes filled with the relief of a narrow escape and deep gratitude.